Well, hello there and welcome back. So today's recipe, I thought that I am going to makes a meal baked beans. And this was a short that I had done a while back on the channel. I had read through the full recipe and talked about the book for just a half a minute, It's a minute short. But it sounded really good and it sounded very, very easy to do. And it is a crock pot meal, so I'm going to put it into my crock pot. So we're going to take a pound of ground beef. I have some home pressure canned ground beef that I'm going to use. It takes some chopped onion. I pulled that out of my freezer. Take some taco seasoning, 2 cans of pork and beans, and some barbecue sauce. And we're going to put that all into the crock pot. So let's get started. So I'm going to open my jar of cooked ground beef, and I'm going to go ahead and put the whole thing into the crock pot here. Now, if you are using fresh ground beef, of course you would cook it first and then add it to your crock pot. And then it says stir in all the other ingredients into the slow cooker. So we are going to put in some baked beans. Come out. Come on out. Jeez. Doesn't want to come out of the can. All right. So we got some great beans. Great beans. How about some pork and beans? Lord have mercy, I can't talk. All right, some pork and beans. I'm going to open up the other can. And I just use this to lift up the tab because I don't want to break my nails. Which I probably will anyway. So, all right, so we're going to add our second can of pork and beans in here. And the pork and beans, of course, just come with tomato sauce. If you can your own, that's great. If you buy a big box brand, which is what I have here, great. You do organic, you can do that. You can make your own on the stovetop, absolutely. All right, so we have our ground beef and 2 cans of pork and beans. We're going to add in our onion. Now mine was frozen, so it looks a little wilty and all kind of weird looking, but it's frozen. It's starting to melt, so it has some color to it. It's losing its color. It's been in the freezer for a little bit, but I want to get that used up. And it calls for a half a teaspoon of taco seasoning or more. This is as your standards taco seasoning. And it's not super spicy or anything. So I'm probably going to do 2 teaspoons. I'm not going to do a full tablespoon, but I will do 2 teaspoons, a teaspoon and a half. Let's try that. We'll do a teaspoon and a half. I can always add more, but I can't take it away. But if you've never bought the taco seasoning from As Your Standard, it is really good. I really do enjoy that. Okay, so now we're going to add our barbecue sauce, and it's 3/4 of a cup of barbecue sauce. And I just squeeze some out into a thing here, so it's easier and it's done. And that way I have dishes, because we don't create enough as it is. All right, so we have some ground beef that's been cooked. I use pressure canned, home canned ground beef, 3/4 of a cup of barbecue sauce, some taco seasoning, measure that with your heart, and 2 cans of pork and beans, and some diced up onion. Looks really, really good. So I'm going to put the lid on this, and I'm going to put it in my crock pot and turn it on low. And I'm going to let it cook. It says on here for 3 hours. Everything is cooked. So it's, 3 hours is plenty. So I'm going to get this started, and then we will have this with dinner, or for dinner, I should say. So this is Makes a Meal Baked Beans. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. This is the Bakes a Meal Baked Beans that we did in the crock pot. So I have my Makes a Meal Baked Bean bowls hot. So here we go. So it looks really nice and it tastes really flavorful. It does have barbecue flavor because we added barbecue sauce to it. 167, I think was the page number. Yes. So here's our Makes a Meal Baked Beans here. And it had very, very simple ingredients. So you had the ground beef, the onions, the taco seasoning, some pork and beans, and the barbecue sauce. You can either go higher or lower on the barbecue sauce, depending on your preference, I think. It does have great flavor. It does have a barbecue undertone because it is barbecue. I would serve this if you were doing like a backyard barbecue, maybe. Corn on the cob with this would be really nice. Like if you did barbecue beef sandwiches, or if you're grilling like hamburgers or something, this would be really nice. Now, if this is too runny for you, say, and you wanted to take it to like a potluck or something, you could thicken this up with a couple of things. If you had dried pinto beans and you powder them up that are cooked dried pinto beans, like I have some from the freeze dryer. If I wanted to thicken that up, I could add that to it and that would thicken it up. Or an easy way that I don't know if people know this, or some people probably do. You could thicken any soup up with instant mashed potato flakes. So you would just add a little bit in your pot, a little bit at a time if you wanted it thicker. And then it's not going to detract from the flavor, and it will help thicken it up. So if you wanted it more thickened, you could do that. Or you could only maybe drain out the tomato sauce from the beans if that's something that you were wanting. But this tastes really, really good. I do enjoy this flavor. So this is the Makes a Meal Baked Beans. And thank you for joining me today. And we will see you on the next video. Bye for now.